All right, Ripple XRP holders, welcome back to the channel. So we have a lot to talk about in this video with some big news taking place for XRP. The US passing a bill to promote mass blockchain adoption. Major announcements for Ubisoft exploring blockchain use. Uphold launching self-custody wallets supporting XRP. IBM introducing cold storage to crypto. Robinhood launching a crypto app. Some XRP price analysis on what's most likely to happen next. Massive updates about the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit, a free way for you guys to be able to create passive income all through 2024 so you could accumulate more crypto. 3 scenarios that could happen next in the market according to Alex Becker, who we talked about yesterday. Bitcoin to the US dollar price chart and how the past few bull runs relate to this bull run affecting XRP, and much, much more. So comment 777 if you're feeling blessed, comment 777 if you're feeling bullish, and if you're gonna become the first millionaire in your family tree, you know what to do. Confirm it by taking your putter, grabbing the like button, tap it in, sink the putt. Do that right now. The more likes that we get on these videos, you guys, the more alpha, the more information that we drop. So give it a tippity taparoo. We're doing it for grandma. We're beating the SEC, and we're buying our house back with XRP. Let's run it. All right, bull runners, welcome back to the channel. So first, let's dive into the Bitcoin to the US dollar price chart, and then we'll talk about XRP and all the news that you need to know, because Bitcoin is in this bull flag right here. And you can see in a bull flag formation, we see the flagpole, the flag, and then the flagpole length is the breakout for the target. So if Bitcoin can continue to remain bullish over this entire month leading into the spot Bitcoin ETF approvals or delays or denials, depending on how the SEC moves forward with that, because experts are saying there's over a 90% approval rate, but there's still that 10% that they could do something to delay it or deny it. So we're most likely going to stay bullish through this month leading into that, unless some catastrophic black swan event takes place. And so what we're looking at right now, if we were to measure, this breakout right here from the flagpole length, we could see a couple different pit stops on the way up to $48,500 for a Bitcoin. And then that's when I would expect a correction to take place. And coincidentally enough, on the right-hand side, that would be a 618 retracement on the macro. If we drop the Fibonacci retracement from the high to the low, I talked about this yesterday, we see this rising wedge. We just broke to the upside of the rising wedge, and this green candle is in overbought territory. We're sitting at 82 on the RSI over here on the weekly, and so Bitcoin has to see a correction at some point. Now, how deep that correction is anyone's guess, depending on where we're at leading up to January for Bitcoin, but we will see a correction. Now, a lot of people are calling for Bitcoin to come back down within the range of roughly $30,000 to $32,000 right around here. And that's very well possible that could happen, but I wouldn't hold your breath if you're looking to enter into the markets at $30,000 or $32,000, because we might not come back down to that range. We could push upwards of $48,500 and see a correction going into Bitcoin's halving, but the correction might not be as deep as everyone thinks as we work our way out of here. And so if you're waiting to get into the markets, obviously, FOMOing into Bitcoin right now is not a smart move as we're pushing into greed and extreme greed. I believe there's better returns in certain altcoins that we're going to be talking about on our channel. If you watched my video yesterday, I talked about the gaming narrative and the gambling narrative, and then there's artificial intelligence and other narratives like DeFi that are going to be absolutely crushing it over the next few months leading into 2025. But a key here to note is if we can break to the upside and Bitcoin pushes upwards of $48,500, then the altcoin market is most likely going to absolutely crush it and go crazy. Now, we do want to prepare for the other scenario too. If Bitcoin breaks to the downside and can't hold $42,000, then the next stop for Bitcoin is all the way down to $39,000 right here. And I would expect something like this to play out for Bitcoin if we break to the downside. So we need to watch the $42,000 support range, because it's a long fall to come all the way back down to 38K. And then the next massive consolidation period, is right around the 38K range right here, going all the way down to 35K. And so we're going to watch these zones for you guys. It's anyone's guess on what's going to happen next for Bitcoin, but if we see a break to the upside, then we gain the next level. So a major reason why the 618 retracement is a key pivotal level for Bitcoin to reach $48,500. When we compare back to the past couple bull runs, the 2017 rally that took Bitcoin almost up to $20,000, we crashed down to 3K. If we draw the Fibonacci retracement from that, A 618 retracement is what Bitcoin did, around $13,000. And then Bitcoin saw the sell-off, massive final capitulation for COVID, Black Swan event, and it took 497 days for Bitcoin to break out. The halving was within this period. We saw a sell-off going into the halving, and then almost nearly 500 days before we broke that high, that eventually the all-time high. Now, looking back at 2014, when Bitcoin reached in 2013 $1,160 some odd dollars, if we were to draw from the high to the low of 150, a 618 retracement is almost exactly what Bitcoin did. And then we saw a correction going into the halving, and it took 182 days for Bitcoin to pass that high of June of 2016. And so if we were to compare to today's chart, a 618 retracement puts Bitcoin around $48,500, give or take a few bucks here or there if we were to zoom in. And if I were to measure out 182 days all the way to 497 days, that would put us at the 3rd of June of 2024 and the 14th of April of 2025 until we see Bitcoin pass the 618 retracement. So what I would expect for Bitcoin is in the short term leading into 2024 until the ETF approvals is Bitcoin to push higher, and then for something to happen that would bring Bitcoin back down, where the institutions would then accumulate more Bitcoin leading through 2024, and then somewhere within this range right here over the next 100 to 500 days for Bitcoin to break that high and to pass the all-time high. So I think a few narratives are going to be broken this bull run cycle. Narrative one is I don't think we're going to pass the all-time high until after Bitcoin's halving. Most people believe we're going to pass the all-time high before the halving. In the past few bull run cycles, we didn't do that. It was 6 to 12 months after Bitcoin's halving that we passed the all-time high. And narrative number two is the diminishing returns narrative, meaning that the first major bull run from November of 2011 to 2013 was 52,000%. Then the next bull run from the bear market low to the bull market high was 12,000%. Then the next bull run to this bear market low to the high was 2,000%. Diminishing returns would mean that the percentage would be even less. We would see, like a $70,000 Bitcoin. Now that's very well possible because of the macro market conditions of the Federal Reserve, the interest rates, the economy, what's happening there. However, look what happened to gold after the first gold ETF was approved back in 2004. Gold rallied from roughly $400 all the way upwards of $1,900. It rallied 365%. So the ETF narrative is going to bring massive institutional money into the market, and we're only at a $1.5 trillion market cap right now. So I truly do believe it's possible for us to push to a $5 or $10 trillion market cap with ETF approvals, with the blockchain legislation going into effect, with the ISO 20022 integration happening with the banking system, with the complete overhaul of the financial landscape. A lot of people think this bull run is going to be small, but arguably this bull run could be compared to what happened from 2015 to 2017 in terms of market cap. Sure, we might not push all the way up to $50 trillion, but with the amount of money getting ready to flow in here, I don't see why we shouldn't at least do $5 to $10 trillion, which is just a fraction of the total stock market. And especially since the younger generation that's born into social media is more used to technology-driven investments like stocks, seeing everything on their phone, going through PayPal, using credit cards, the narrative is very clear that Bitcoin is going to absorb the majority of the liquidity from these other giant industries over the next few years.
Question about the halving. I've heard it called the halvening or the halving, but either one. We're getting to that in April, I think, right? Yep. And that's been a bullish thing before. I sort of wonder, is it the same thing though? Is that already getting priced in, or is there something technical that actually happens that would make it be priced in closer to the event?
So what we've seen historically is that the 12 to 16 months after a halvening is the best performance of Bitcoin. So that's what everybody's thinking about. This time might be different because the price of Bitcoin's higher. We now only have, I think it's 900 Bitcoin a day that come out, so that gets cut in half. It's not a lot of Bitcoin, but what it does do is it makes Bitcoin more scarce than gold. So for the first time in history, you have an asset that is more scarce than gold.
In what way more scarce?
Let's call it a stock to flow ratio. So the amount of Bitcoin mined every year divided by the amount outstanding, same with gold. And now there'll be, quote unquote, less Bitcoin than gold mined on a relative basis.
So it's undeniable that as time goes on, Bitcoin becomes more scarce. As the value of gold goes up, well, they're going to mine more gold and find it in the earth. So we don't know the max supply of gold because all of it hasn't been mined yet on the planet. We can just know how to position ourselves properly in the right market at the right time to know where the liquidity is going to flow. And Alex Becker is saying that he has 3 scenarios on what happens next in the markets. He has between 5% to 10% of his net worth in crypto gaming. So scenario one is Bitcoin dumps hard in the next few months. We dive, eventually good times return, and we see the biggest bull run ever. Now that's the most likely case scenario. Option B, number two, is Bitcoin goes up only and we have the biggest bull run ever. In both instances, his 5% turns his net worth double or triple. Option three is the absolute worst and unlikely scenario, is 5% of his net worth is completely wiped out. Crypto goes away completely, which is just not going to happen. I mean, they're already ushering this in. Why would BlackRock be applying for a spot Bitcoin ETF if crypto is going to go away completely? Unless it's the biggest rug pull in history, which could happen, but highly unlikely. So he has zero idea what happens next, as do us all. Those are the three outcomes, though. The roulette wheel is spinning. This is like going to Vegas, and there's a roulette wheel with 2/3 odds you 20x your money, and 1/3 odds you lose it. So I'm placing my bet, I'm spinning the effing wheel, and I'm backing up the truck. Okay, I like that mentality right there. But a lot of people treat it like gambling. But either way, the last 2 years, you've been showing up to Christmas parties, and your non-crypto family, they mocked you, they made fun of you. This year, they pay. You're giving them no coin picks. You ask them why they can't afford a butler. You scoff at their cheap wine selection. Ugh, disgusting, absolute filth. Bigotry. Use the bathroom, don't flush, then you tip your uncle and you say, handle this sty. Remind them that they are the poor's now. And this is you, up there, you addict dweller, you basement dweller, in your mom's basement, in your grandma's basement, striving to build generational wealth. Will they get any of that generational wealth? You let me know in the comments below. So, do you guys want to know the best way to accumulate crypto during the bull run? Is you need passive income. So there's a free program that can help you earn passive income by helping business owners. And I want you to listen to this, and I'll explain really quick how you guys can benefit from this. If you want to know the best way to make an extra $100,000 in the next 12 months, here's exactly what we're going to do. This may sound crazy, but we're going to sell free money to business owners. So let me explain how this works. Business owners are required to pay FICA taxes if they have employees on their payroll. And these FICA taxes are 7.65% of the business owner's income. So what if there was a free program that was created to help business owners reduce the amount that they have to pay in FICA taxes per employee? Do you think that the business owners would be interested in that? Of course they would. This free program will help the employer, which is the business owner, save $700 to $800 per employee they have on payroll on an annual basis. And if you introduce business owners to this program, you will earn $5 per employee per month on a residual basis. If you refer a business that has 100 employees, you will make $500 per month in residual income. If you refer a business that has 1,000 employees, you will make $5,000 per month in residual income. If you want to learn more, all you need to do is like this video and DM me the word saying I'm in, and I'll send you the full video explaining how to get started. So this program is free, there's no investment required, and you can earn residual income by simply connecting with business owners. So that way you can take the passive income that you generate and you could be able to put it into the crypto market if we see a deeper correction like this, or even like this for what happened with 2020. If they plan a pandemic part 2, some type of black swan event takes place, you have to be ready with residual income on the front end to be able to buy the dip. And there are 33.2 million small businesses in America, which combined account for 99.9% of all US businesses. So there's an abundance of businesses that you can help that have at least 10 W-2 employees to be able to earn $5 per month per employee in residual income. So if that interests you, all you gotta do is like this video, go to the link in the description below, watch this 7-minute video right here, it'll explain everything. Enter your name, email, phone number, how many business owners you know with W-2 employees, then click the submit button, and you'll be able to start generating passive income. Now, what's happening with Ripple and the developments following the decision, the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit, and when are we going to break out on the chart? So on July 13th, Judge Annalisa Torres issued a summary judgment decision stating that Ripple's sales of XRP through the secondary trading platforms like centralized exchanges did not constitute security transactions, meaning that Coinbase, other United States exchanges, could relist XRP while its direct sales to institutional investors were securities. And the court denied summary judgment with respect to claims against Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson, who the SEC alleged had aided in abetting Ripple's alleged violations, requiring the claims against these individuals to proceed to trial. So not only did they go after Ripple, but they went after Chris and they went after Brad. And the judge denied the SEC's request for an interlocutory appeal to challenge her holding regarding sales in the secondary trading platforms, which was a big win for Ripple. And the summary judgment decision will therefore remain a non-binding precedent that counsels against a finding that digital asset purchases or sales on secondary trading platforms are security transactions. So that is massive because XRP in and of itself is not a security, and there's nothing the SEC can do other than try to appeal the case when it's over. Second, the SEC voluntarily dismissed charges against Brad and Chris, and this voluntary dismissal could accelerate the appeal of the summary judgment decision if the SEC tries to appeal. And following the judge's summary judgment decision back on August 18th, the SEC moved for an interlocutory appeal to challenge the court's holdings that Ripple's programmatic sales of XRP on the secondary platform were not security transactions. So super important here because the court emphasized that offers or sales of digital assets on secondary trading platforms could never constitute security transactions for Ripple. Rather, they only focused on the specific facts presented by Ripple's programmatic sales to institutional investors. And the voluntary dismissal by the SEC suggests that the SEC may have strategically decided to avoid a prolonged trial in order to reach a final appealable decision more quickly, thus allowing the agency to challenge aspects of the judge's summary judgment through the appeal. So the big question here is what comes next. While the Ripple case continues to proceed through what's called the damages phase and the potential appeals, other SEC litigations directly raise the same or similar issues to those decided by Judge Torres. So for example, in the SEC versus Coinbase case, the SEC alleged that Coinbase facilitated the sale of crypto assets through an unregistered exchange, and Coinbase moved for judgment on the pleadings, arguing that number one, secondary sales on their exchange do not confer any rights against the sellers, a necessary feature of an investment contract under Howey. So the decision in the Ripple case that XRP's secondary sales were not securities was a big win for Coinbase as well too, because now they can use that in their lawsuit. And number two, the SEC overstepped its regulatory power, noting that the SEC chair Gary Gensler's comment that only Congress could confer authority to regulate crypto exchanges. So even Congress is pissed with Gary Gensler.
From your perspective, is it more difficult now for the digital asset industry to access financial products and services in the United States than it was, say, 2 years ago?
Sir, I'm not running one of those businesses. If they came into compliance, I think
Reclaiming my time. The answer, sir, is yes. Do you think you and the SEC have had a role to play in that?
I think we have a role to protect the American investor and the capital markets. And
Reclaiming my time, sir. You have played an obvious role in that. During your tenure at the SEC, how many rules has the SEC finalized that actually accommodate the existing regulatory framework and are specifically to the digital asset industry so the crypto market can come into compliance?
It's our rule books that are on the books for years, so we have not finalized any new rule specifically with regard to crypto. We've proposed some things in best execution. We've also...
Sir, reclaiming my time, the answer is zero. And how many enforcement actions has the SEC levied against digital asset companies during your tenure, sir?
I think it's probably 40 or 50.
The answer, sir, is about 55. My understanding is that the biggest crypto failure in history is probably FTX at $9 billion. Were you the chairman of the SEC when FTX collapsed?
Yes.
And how many times did you meet with FTX prior to their collapse?
I think my public record shows 2.
You met with FTX at least twice. Chair Gensler, FTX was domiciled abroad and so is Binance, yet American consumers still had access to both. You can't really think that pushing this industry abroad is going to protect American consumers when it hasn't several times in the past on your watch. You say the crypto market is rife with non-compliance. However, existing SEC rules make no sense for blockchain-based companies, and following them would actually kill these businesses. Your regulatory style lacks flexibility and nuance, and as a result, you've been an incompetent cop on the beat, doing nothing to protect everyday Americans and pushing American firms into the hands of the CCP. Your intention to work against SEC mission and put American investors in harm's way has been made very apparent, sir. It's been 1.5 years since you've appeared before this committee. You need to answer to Congress about the issues that you've had with the SEC staff union, the work environment you've cultivated at the SEC that's led to hemorrhaging of senior staff, the intellectual inconsistency of your regulatory treatment towards Bitcoin spot ETFs, and your politicization of capital formation opportunities through your treatment of certain SPACs. And that's just to name a few.
And similarly, in the SEC versus Binance case, the SEC alleged that they function as an unregistered exchange for crypto assets selling securities. And so these cases are pending before different judges in different courts, opening up the possibility of different results here. So make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel. We'll keep you updated on what's going on with all of these lawsuits so you can protect your portfolio. But let's look at the XRP to the US dollar price chart on the daily candles, because XRP has been building up pressure in this symmetrical triangle in this uptrend, getting ready for a massive breakout. Now, similarly to the Bitcoin to the US dollar price chart, if I draw from the all-time high for XRP to the low and we were to see the retracement that took place for XRP, it was pretty much a 618 retracement for the bull run of 2021. We didn't pass the high, and then we saw the bear market of 2022 take place. So coincidentally enough, Bitcoin pulled a 618 retracement the last two bull runs. XRP pulled a 618 retracement. And so if I were to draw from the high of 2021 to the low of June of 2022, where would that put a 618 retracement before we see a correction for XRP? Well, that would put it almost exactly at this descending resistance of roughly $1.32 right here. So if we see Bitcoin push up higher in the short term to a 618 retracement, that would be roughly another 12 to 13% rally for Bitcoin. And if we were to see XRP do a 618 retracement, that would be a 100% rally for XRP. Now, I'm shocked that XRP hasn't done that yet already, because it's the only altcoin that has regulatory clarity. We see other projects in the top 100 outperforming XRP that don't have regulatory clarity. You know, you see Solana, you see Avalanche rallying, we see Chainlink rallying, we see all these other projects going absolutely crazy the past month, whereas XRP is still stuck below 70 cents. So at some point, something's got to give and XRP's got to go. My theory here, like this video if you agree, comment below your reason why you disagree, is that they're purposefully suppressing the price of XRP because they want to shake you out of your bags to buy into all these other altcoins that don't have regulatory clarity, so they can accumulate XRP before the banks flip the switch to the new payment standards for the new financial landscape that they're building. And all these other altcoins rallying right now is just a fun game to make more money to then accumulate more of the ISO compliant projects that have yet to rally. So while we see all these other projects rallying, XRP's price struggling to break out, we're going to see all these companies starting to dive into the industry, developing technology to absorb the market share. For example, Robinhood is launching a commission-free crypto trading app over in Europe, and the app is going live today, which allows European investors to buy and sell more than 25 cryptocurrencies. Also, IBM is introducing a new cold storage tech for crypto assets to be able to get your crypto off of exchanges. And Uphold is also launching a self-custody wallet that supports XRP. And you see other massive companies diving into the industry to explore blockchain use, one of which being Ubisoft, the company that's behind Assassin's Creed and Just Dance. And they're particularly interested in the blockchain's ability to offer unique ownership over digital items, saying the technology presents the opportunity to finally have real digital collectibles that cannot be replaced by anyone and can be 100% owned by you. And one of the other use cases they're particularly keen on is related to the one-of-a-kind downloadable content, which is distributed by a games publisher. Typically includes like add-ons such as aesthetic changes, you know, like skins for a character in a video game, new gameplay features, new maps. And they're saying that we want to go further than that. We feel there's something even more interesting to find through the blockchain. We're in the process of trying to find that interesting thing out. So what do you guys think that will be? Right now, the space where these companies are focusing on innovation is with blockchain tech. Now let's discuss the US passing a bill to promote mass blockchain adoption. So the US House Committee passed a pro-blockchain bill with unanimous support, and it's called Deploying American Blockchain Act of 2023, which is a dozen-page bill aimed at promoting the competitiveness of the United States related to the deployment, use, application of blockchain technology or other distributed ledger technology. So the government would create a blockchain deployment program to support the use of the technology. It would set up advisory bodies to support blockchain adoption with industry stakeholders, federal agency representatives, specialists, and others among the members. And the government would also take measures to promote blockchain leadership and improve coordination for federal agencies interested in using the technology. It would do research for federal agencies current use of blockchain, and the extent to which they are prepared to adopt the tech moving forward. And another potentially impactful piece of legislation is the Financial Innovation and Technology Act for the 21st century. If passed into law, it would establish a process for the agnostic issue of labeling cryptocurrencies as securities or commodities and make regulator jurisdictions clear. Between the SEC, the CFTC, and the Deploying American Blockchain Act of 2023 must be approved by the Senate before it's returned for final approval by Congress and the executive powers of the US. So over the next 2 years, we're going to see massive innovation hit this industry. And with over 2 million cryptocurrencies, the vast majority of these are going to go away, but there's going to be a select few that are going to dominate and absorb the majority of the market cap when we see trillions of dollars flow into this industry. So if you guys want to know what those projects are and you want to see our top altcoin picks for 2025 that we're the most bullish on, then all you have to do is go to bullrunners.com to copy winning crypto traders and discover our proven strategies to make money online without any previous trading experience. All you do, click the button on the page, put in your best email address. Again, that's bullrunners.com. You'll get instant access to our video newsletter to receive breaking news updates and videos like this. You'll get access to our Telegram group to see the information first. And you'll be on our video newsletter to be notified first when we launch our financial education platform to give you the best, to help you prepare for the worst that's yet to come in this economy. So I appreciate you guys for watching this video. As always, let's back up our truck all the way to the bank, grab the bags, pack them and stack them, leave no bags left behind, because we believe the spending power of the dollar is going down in value. That's a fact based on inflation. Blockchain technology, distributed ledger technology, cryptocurrencies are going up in interest. That's the truth. And together, you know where we're going. We're going camping on the beaches of the moon. I'll see you on the next video. I'll see you on bullrunners.com. As always, stay bullish.